Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Kinfolk and Nem with my kinfolk Ish, Greg, Nap, Brett, and of course your boy X Williams back with another episode. We're gonna do a quick little Halloween episode, little festive. No costumes for this episode, but it is Halloween, so let's keep it like I said, a little festive. If you are watching on YouTube or Facebook, please make sure you follow and like us, and make sure you share the page as well. Make sure more people check out Kinfolk and Nem. So, guys, how's your week been before the last show? How's everything been going with you guys?
Hey,
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm still black, so that's good.
it's wild out here in Philly, dog. Hey,
Yeah, let's talk about that right quick before we get into these topics. There has been some rioting going on, protest rioting going on. Nap, you are kind of close to that Philadelphia region.
right.
You want to
So
elaborate a little bit
for
on?
a little while now. I know you seen me post a while back the one video when the gentleman, I think it was Ahmaud Arbery, had got shot and killed while he was running. They had a little, protest here locally, but the city has been nonstop for the last almost year, very, very vocal about where they stand on the situation. And just recently, a gentleman in North Philly, I believe it was shot by the police. He was carrying a weapon. Yes, he had a knife. Yes, he was approaching the cops. Yes. However, this supposed situation, I do believe the gentleman had some mental health issues. The police may or may not have been aware of that, but from what I've seen as far as my research on the police and police departments and their strategies and training, they do know different ways to combat and subdue and de-escalate situations. And we have seen them do this time and time again, regardless of the color of the person's skin, regardless of what type of weapon that they are carrying. So I'm not really understanding, why this continues to happen. So right now, everybody that's on the East Coast, fucking dirty third, West Coast, you know what I'm saying? We all got to do the same thing. I'm not mad at people protesting. I'm not mad at people per se rioting, because the people that are actually out there being vocal, again, we're having the same instance where, because I know a lot of these people in the community personally, where they're going out there and they're setting up events, and we still have these issues of the the general black core of that community is trying to utilize that platform, but you have those people that, whether they realize it or not, they're kind of causing more of a divide by initiating the violence, initiating the rioting, initiating let's go do this and this to the police that are here, instead of following the lead of what the black people are actually doing, things of that sort. So unfortunately, it's just history repeating itself. I can only hope for change. That's why people vote. That's why we do what we do. So hopefully things get better. My condolences and prayers go out to the friends and family of the gentleman. I don't have his name on hand right now, but I will get that before the end of the show.
Walter Wallace Jr.
Walter Wallace Jr. So my condolences and big prayers. Shout out to him, all of Philly, East Coast, black community. Y'all know what it is.
Thank you for that, Ish. Now let's all remind everybody that's watching. Election Day is November 3rd, and next week we will definitely have a recap of the election, and we'll have a couple of guests on the show for next week after the election. So make sure you check out Kinfolk and Nem next week. We'll have a very special update of the presidential election. So, speaking of elections, the versus. This is a versus between two of the greatest Atlanta hip hop artists of our generation, T.I. and Jeezy. This is a versus matchup that a lot of people have been throwing out there. If not T.I. and Jeezy, at least Jeezy and Gucci. We talked about this on previous episodes of Kinfolk and Nem. We asked each other if we wanted to see a versus, who would we want, and again, it was usually a G.I. versus Gucci, but
G.I.
oh, my bad. My bad.
G.I.
Gucci,
Joe,
my bad. Gucci and Jeezy, my bad. Thank you, Ish. But for right
Kobe
now,
Commander hit it.
but for right now, it's gonna be Ti versus Jeezy. So with that being said, when news broke, how did you guys feel about it? Because let's be real, going back to our upbringing, we were mostly Gucci listeners. We listened to
Yeah.
mostly Gucci. Um, I did, of course, listen to Ti, and Jeezy was probably third in that Atlanta mix. But for the most part, all three of those Atlanta artists come hard with with great music. So it's gonna be very interesting to see this battle take place. Who wants to start this off on your thoughts about this?
I guess I'll go. For me, when I first heard about it, I mean, it was kind of like so and so. To be quite honest with you, just to get the thing out the way, I think Ti is gonna win. I think, uh, obviously, I'm being biased, of course. I listen to Ti more than I listen to Jeezy. Ti's Urban Legend album, probably one of my favorite albums, hip hop albums, period, of all time. Grew up listening to that before going to basketball games, stuff like that. So the album is really personal and near and dear to my heart. So just based on that alone, being biased, I think Ti is going to win. But Jeezy, obviously, Jeezy has hits. I know the albums you have below were some of Jeezy's stuff. I really know him for his mixtapes, though. Like, I want to see if he actually plays some of his mixtape stuff. That's the stuff that I really like from Jeezy. So we'll see what happens, but I think Ti is going to wash the fuck out this nigga. Quite
Now
honestly.
on the bottom ticker, a little disrespectful, but on the bottom ticker, of course, people that are watching, I have Jeezy's and Ti's albums on the bottom. You can check them out. Ti, of course, has King, Paper Trail, Urban Legend, like Greg said before. Ti versus Tip, Trap Music, and No Mercy. These are just the commercial albums. Of course, we know both of these guys have mixtapes. It's gonna be very interesting to see if both of these guys bring out some of their old school songs that were on mixtapes and not songs that were commercial hits. So that's gonna be very interesting to see as well. And same thing with Jeezy. You have Thug Motivation 101, 102, 103, The Inspiration, The Recession, Trap or Die 3, and Pressure. Again, I don't know about you guys, but I'm very excited to see what Jeezy has in his bag, because I think a lot of people sleeping on Jeezy. I think this is kind of like Monica versus Brandy. Remember, we were on here and we talked about this. We thought Brandy was going to wash Monica. We didn't think Monica had any hits. We
Y'all,
forgot
don't put me in
though,
that group.
but we forgot. My bad. Everybody,
Don't put me in that group.
me. I'll say me and a couple other people on the show said that Monica probably wasn't going to be able to hang with Brandy because we assumed that Xavier assumed that Brandy had more hits than Monica until Monica started throwing those songs out of her bag and she was out there, rocking in her Fendi. So
Bro, I
when
like
it
how you
comes
trying to
to
make it seem like y'all being respectful. Y'all are being mad disrespectful in
No.
that episode, bro.
First of all,
no, wait,
first
wait,
of all,
wait,
you
wait,
was
wait,
it was no. That was Greg. That was Greg. We was being. We just forgot. We just forgot. That's all.
Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy.
Don't be that guy, Ish, please.
I'm just keeping it real. Y'all are being mad disrespectful. Now you're trying to walk it back like y'all were being respectful to Monica. Like y'all
Nigga,
straight
Brandy
out.
had more hits
We
than
got
Monica.
the footage. We got the footage.
It was 5-0. We can run the footage back. I'm just saying.
Are you
We
shitting
can
me
run,
right
we
now?
can run the footage back.
Listen.
Anyway.
I just remember saying name 3 hits, and
And then everybody just wilded out and went mad disrespectful.
Okay, you did too.
No, I didn't.
all I was saying was name 3 hits.
I was trying to say, y'all
I
don't do her
couldn't
like
think
that. She
I
got some
couldn't think of
songs.
one.
Hey, I'll say this. After that versus, I've listened to a lot more Monica through my Pandora that's been playing Monica or whatnot.
Because you're a bandwagon fan.
No, because apparently that's just how analytics work when it comes to music and whatnot. You know how your phone be listening to you. That's just how it was and whatnot. So it's all good. Hop on the Tennessee Titan bandwagon then. So you want to talk about bandwagons? Come on, Cowboy fan. Hop on the bandwagon then. Anyways, we'll talk about that later. But anyways, like I said, I think this is going to be a very interesting versus. I think Jeezy has a lot more hits in his bag than you guys are assuming, especially like Greg. Greg's being disrespectful. Nap, you the music guy. I mean, you know, I know you have a lot more history.
Disrespectful is different.
All
So,
You guys
well,
want to watch
honestly,
it, like the fuck I said, nigga.
I don't know what the hell you talking
hostile.
about. Anyway,
Hostile.
Jeezy definitely gonna hang in the bag with Ti. Because for me personally, like you said, coming up, we was jamming the fuck out of some Gucci. But way before that, one of the first joints I ever heard was at goddamn bottom of the map on Thug Motivation and some other shits on Thug Motivation 101. And I was like, yo, this is the hardest shit not ever heard in my life. So just off that, you know what I mean? But I know for me musically, a lot of Jeezy's material did kind of decline a little bit for me. T.I. has been able to stay on that up and up with his music and just like his overall representation of himself in a way. But I,
No,
I
yeah.
I prefer Jeezy over Ti, but that's a personal bias. However, none of them right now recently have done anything significant. I feel like for me personally, I don't think like there's anything new from Ti or Jeezy that I'm about to be like, yo, that's my shit. You know what I mean? Like you said, we're gonna have to go back to some mixtapes. And personally, I didn't really fuck with Ti mixtapes like that. I was on Jeezy mixtapes like that. We was on Block, I was on Gucci, I was on all that shit. You know what I mean? But Ti kind of was like, Atlanta niggas doing what they doing, and we, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I guess Gucci Atlanta too, shit, but it is what it is.
All right, let's check in the comments right quick. We have Bree Reese checking in. She says, "I agree, Greg."
Shout out to Bree.
And then she also says they lost though.
Oh,
I mean, they did lose. I appreciate you for reminding me about my Titans losing. That's fine. We'll see y'all in the playoffs. Shout out to Roland Randolph. That is my sergeant back in the Army. Shout out to you for checking out the show. So y'all forgetting about I'm Serious and Dime Trap. I'm not forgetting about it. Like I said, I just put out some of the commercial albums. I did not put out the actual, mixtapes and all that. He says, nah, this is going to be a great versus, and I definitely agree. I also had to add in there TM 104 that Jeezy recently put out about, let me look at that one more time.
And you know what? I don't know
about my bad, last year. It seemed like it came out longer than that. My bad. TM 104 came out last year. Yeah, again, it felt like it came out 2 or 3 years ago. But TM 104 is probably one of my favorite Jeezy's mixtape. I'm sorry, Jeezy's albums that he came out with, because even though it was the same, like TM 101, 102, 103, it was different because of the era that he's in. And I like that about Jeezy. And of course, with Jeezy, let's be real, he's not coming out with music like he used to. He's a lot more involved, as we've seen with the Biden-Harris campaign. And then also dating.
Not really, to be honest.
Yes, it's very true. And also dating Janine Mai. I can't say her. I don't know if I'm saying her name correctly, but she's on the show. I want to say she's on the show, The Talk. Like I said, her and Jeezy got together a couple of years ago, and they made it official recently. And like I said, that's what G.I. been doing. Of course, G's been doing. Of course, T.I. has been in the news with him and Tiny's relationship, and then also, of course, T.I. with the whole wanted to check out his daughter's hyphen and all that stuff. So, yeah, if you didn't hear about that, hey, you can go. That's what the internet's for. So. Hey, I'm just saying. Just bringing up.
Talking about music here.
I'm just bringing up old news.
We talking about the music, all right?
Hey,
and
question.
So who is everybody picking?
What's question, though? My fault. Ish, you go ahead.
No, I'm just asking who everybody was picking.
I'm gonna go with Jeezy, actually.
Yeah, I'm going G.
Okay.
Because
got T.I. All right, Ish.
Go ahead.
Get him, Jeezy. I got him. He said he got him already.
I got him.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm going with Jeezy. I'm not gonna lie. I'm going Jeezy.
Like for me, I grew up more on Jeezy than T.I.
No, now I'm picking
T.I.
Think about I like y'all.
I feel like we grew up on T.I. because of the commercial music that he had and the influence that he's had throughout his commercial success.
That's why I think he's
Jeezy
gonna win
had
the popular
commercial success,
vote.
though. We
But
know.
who had
Jeezy
more-
don't
T.I.
have
won
that
the popular
commercial success like Ti do.
T.I.
Come
gonna win
on
the
now.
popular vote.
I
What?
don't know. I don't know.
Dude, okay. Let me just.
Popular-
This
Ti
nigga-
gonna win the popular
No.
vote,
T.I.
but
gonna win the popular vote.
Jeezy
Yeah,
had one
T.I.
of the
gonna win
big,
the popular
bro.
vote.
Jeezy had a song that was like one of the leading songs in Obama's campaign, bro.
One
my
song.
president is black. Okay, yippee doo.
Just
One
I
song.
like
Pretty
that song,
commercial
yeah.
song.
One,
Oh my God,
one
Greg.
Song,
The fuck?
one song.
I can name 5 songs right now. Ti has played in movies, commercials, all that
That's
stuff.
why I said that nigga gonna win. The
Okay. All right, we can stop singing that. We can leave that to Ti. We can leave that to Ti and Jeezy. Please don't do that.
I
Please
got
don't
my
do that.
question
You
though.
forgot about that.
What?
I got my question though.
Let's go, Greg.
Usually we ask this when we talk about verses, right? But anybody still got any other dream matchups they want to see? You know what I'm saying? Anybody?
Who ain't been? Shit. I'm trying to see motherfucking.
Because I thought of 2 recently. I thought would be fire.
Bring it up, then. Bring it up.
I'm an R&B head, so for me, the 2 versus battles I want to see: Maxwell versus Music Soul Child, or Joe versus Avant.
Ooh,
Joe will win. Avant don't have as many hits.
I think Joe will win.
Joe will win landslide.
Because
but it was
Avant don't have as many hits. I mean, you gotta put Joe up against somebody like I mean, I think Joe and Maxwell would be a better matchup because of the hits.
Yeah.
I thought Maxwell Music Soul Child.
Music Soul
I
Child.
was,
But I'm talking about hits wise, like you. I mean, it's hard to match. It's like matching up a middleweight versus a featherweight. Like
Hits based on the fan base, though.
You gotta do the same style too.
again, I understand all that. I'm just saying. All right, let's talk about verses another time. All right, next topic. Should you remain friends with your ex after a breakup? This is I guess a topic that is swirling around the social media scene. I don't really know, but we're gonna talk about this right quick. And did anybody want to go ahead and start off?
We're canceling these. No, I don't know.
Whoa!
I'm just talking shit.
Boy,
I'll start. I think it just depends on your new relationship.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, should you? I mean, that's between you and your new person. Can you? Yes. Should you? That's completely different. I know for me, like, I don't burn bridges. Like, I'm still friends with a lot of my exes, but
I don't burn bridges, Mr.
I don't burn bridges. I don't. Listen, hey, I don't. But like I said, there are some exes that I don't even talk to, don't mess with, nothing like that. So it all depends on your relationship and the trust that you have. You know what I'm saying, with your new person. Like me and my wife, like I've mentioned this before, we have a great level of trust, and she trusts me. Now I know some of us cannot say the same, right? And if
Yo, I like how you try to dry snitch and call boys out, man. You so wrong for it, but I'm gonna let you slide on that one because man,
it's true.
You over here trying to call people out.
Yeah. So
All right, to the comments. Jasmine says,
I
"Child."
don't know what he said.
She says, we already know where
He
Greg
not talking about
stands.
you. He talking about somebody else. He talking about somebody. Yo, Brett is so childish. Greg, we're gonna talk about this in the after show.
You talking about me? I'm pretty sure
No,
you're
he's not talking. He's not talking about you, Brett.
Anyway, it's funny because a lot of people, it really is kind of weird because I know a lot of people that really like they don't fuck with their exes. Like, I hate that person, blah blah blah. I would never do this, that, and third, blah blah blah. And some people are like, yeah, we're cool. We was just at the park the other day with so and so, this, that, and the third. So again, I think
we're not hanging out though. That's different. We're not hanging out.
Depending on the relationship, like if you just got out of a relationship and you are in a new relationship, that's different. If you just got out of a relationship and you're single, I mean, can't nobody tell you shit about who you talking to. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
sure.
Is it in your best interest to be friends with your ex at that point? You know, it's all just based on your communication, emotional settings, and shit like that. So, I mean, shit. what's wrong and what's right. I don't know.
Jasmine says, I think you can be cordial, but there's no need to remain friends.
Wow, whatever, Jasmine. Anyways,
I mean,
Man, Greg.
Low-key kind of sound like a cop-out answer, as Greg would say.
Cop
So
out
what is
Jazz, that's her name. Cop out
being
Jazz.
friends? Does being friends mean maintaining communication, or does
What
being
exactly
friends
does that mean?
we go out and do things together? What is being
Fucking?
friends?
Like y'all still fucking?
Because let's be real. The older you get, the less
that's another question.
opportunities you have to hang out with certain people.
Let's be
Because
kicking it with people like that.
exactly, because you have less time, so you try to divide your time with the people that are more important, right? So when it comes to when it comes to having friends, if you are a friend, with the opposite sex still, and you are able to make time for that person to go out, either if you are single or in a relationship, then that's on those two individuals wanting to do that. But the older you get, depending on your situation, it's a lot harder to make time for people that you probably don't want to see. But if you want to see that individual, then hey, you're going to make time for that person, right?
and it better be okay with your next
With the missus or Mister.
Yeah.
Clearly.
No, I mean, hey, we got distinct that.
Bree Reese says, "Do what works for y'all without affecting the new relationship."
Exactly.
Greg, go ahead, Brad.
That's why we're related.
I think, in regards to this question, it really depends on your emotional intelligence, right? The reason why I say that is because
That's a new favorite word. That's a new
That's
I
favorite
love
word.
it. I love
That's
it.
a
I'm
new term.
gonna
That's
bring
the
up
new
every
term.
episode.
Love that emotional intelligence.
I love it.
New
I'm
shirt
bring it
coming
up all the
soon.
time.
Emotional intelligence.
It's a fact though. You know what I'm saying? Like you have exes that are still follow each other on social media, but yet they get upset every time that person that they used to be with somebody else. You see it in the comments, you see it in the way they interact, or you know what I'm saying. So I think it really depends on your emotional intelligence. If you know for a fact that you cannot be friends with your ex, don't try to be. You know what I'm saying? Focus on you, most importantly, and also just know your boundaries. If you know for a fact you're still gonna be jealous of what your ex is gonna do when y'all not together, then you shouldn't be friends with them. Don't try to force something that's not you.
Now, I have a question for you, Greg. Do you feel like the emotional intelligence is more on the women's side, as you're saying?
I'm
Because,
definitely not using that word right, but go ahead.
well, what I mean by that is, do you feel like women are more emotional on certain things when it comes to, this type of topic, as in remaining friends with the opposite sex compared to a guy? If a guy's, if a guy's dating a woman and the woman has, friends, usually a guy is maybe a little bit more lenient to let that, woman have her friends compared to the opposite sex.
I don't think it's gender specific, honestly.
Yeah,
I agree. I don't think it's
Me
gender
neither.
specific.
Yeah. I think it all depends on your maturity level.
Yeah, I think it's everybody, each in their own. I mean, to add on to what Brett Napoleon and Bree Reese has already said, on top of it not affecting your current relationship, I think it depends on you and the type of relationship that you came out of, right? So, like, depending on your ex and the relationship you have with your ex, it may be somebody that you can continue a cordial, kick it with kind of relationship and talk to, or it may be somebody that you just don't need to like communicate with because they toxic as hell, or you know what I mean? Like it just depends on each relationship is different, right? And also your connection with each person is different, right? Like there are some people that you might really connect with on a type of level that like you don't need to be around them because of the type of level that y'all connect on and the things that y'all experience together and so on and so forth. So I think there are a number of factors that go into whether or not people will continue, kicking it with a ex.
And also, I want to chime in as well. Jasmine
says emotional intelligence is Greg's buzzword.
Jasmine,
It is.
cop out Jazz.
It
Fuck off.
is.
Anyways,
Hey, tell Jazz to come on the show.
another thing I will say is that it depends on how bad the breakup was. If y'all had a peaceful, I guess, mutual breakup, then yeah, I definitely think y'all could be friends. But if y'all had a bad breakup, like niggas was keying cars, niggas was domestic violence and all that shit, y'all should not be friends, bro, at all. Leave that motherfucker alone, please. Leave that motherfucker alone. If that nigga was beating your ass, leave that nigga alone, bro.
That should be. You would think that'd be common sense, huh, Greg?
If that nigga was beating your ass, I'm sorry to
Really? Why Greg laughing at this? That's what you laughing about, Greg? Huh?
Yeah, that's not something that should be laughing about. No,
that shit funny to you, Greg?
I want to be clear. That is not what we are laughing about. We are not laughing about that. Brett and I are laughing at something totally different. But that is not something to be laughed about. I apologize to those out there.
Brett, I hate you. Stop laughing, bro.
I'm not.
Look, Ish can't even keep a straight face.
I apologize for these fools.
I got tears in my eyes.
Being ignorant, but
I got tears in my eyes.
Brett,
Hey, Greg. Yeah.
All right, stop. All right.
Wait. Hey, Greg. I love your examples, big dog. That's all I'm listening.
nah.
Brett,
All right.
Brett, I hope for laughing during my soliloquy, man.
Oh Lord, this is what I had to deal with for the last 12 years.
No, for real. For everybody that's been through domestic violence, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit is no laughing matter, but real shit. If that nigga beat your ass, you need to get the fuck out. Y'all know what the fuck you doing.
All right.
We can jump the nigga. We can beat his ass too. Ain't no we. Well, I mean, I'm about to.
You must speak French right now, looking at.
We do charge
you
have to sign away.
You could do what you want to do.
I don't know who you're talking about.
I'm about it. 2020, the world.
I ain't 17 no more. I ain't 17 no more.
Brett, I don't like you right now, bro. Brett, I don't like you.
I have a family.
Niggas is still eating ass. That shit crazy.
Brett, I don't like you right now, bro. Brett,
why? What I do?
All right, we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to the next topic because this one is a little crazy with these folks. All right, so
I didn't do.
Kind of piggybacking on the last topic, how to bounce back from a relationship.
Resiliency.
Either, of course, a long-term relationship or a short-term relationship. Nap, you want to start it off, Mr. Resiliency?
You have to be resilient. Resilience. That's all I have to say. I don't know. There's no real good answer to bouncing back from a relationship because you might not really need to bounce back. Maybe you already where you need to be, and you know what I'm saying? You like,
maybe you already bounced into somebody else's arms.
Girl bouncing on another dude.
Whoa.
Greg, whatever you do in your personal time is what you do, sir. All right.
That's why I said that girl, nigga.
All right. All right. Just making sure, sir. I'm just. Hey, whatever you do on your own personal time. I love you, Greg. I don't care what you do in your personal time. It don't matter.
Do not be that guy. Don't be that guy.
I got you.
That's why your eyes not open, whole ass nigga.
They open it up to see you bouncing on something.
No dick though.
All right. Anyways, let me give my example right quick. I've been watching 101 recently on Netflix. If anybody don't know, been on Netflix. 101 is on Netflix, and they had an episode where Dwayne, the next door neighbor, he got out of a long-term relationship, and the best thing for him to do was to date himself. What that means for him is, of course, just treat yourself, as in you want to give back to yourself, treat yourself, self-healing, inside, outside, spiritually, physically, all that stuff, mentally, all that stuff before you're able to move on to the next phase of your life, before you're able to find that next partner, because you don't want to be damaged moving into the next relationship and having somebody else try to pick up the pieces that you're still trying to pick up as well.
Yeah. Well, that's key, is if you can go into your first relationship already having that understanding, you know what I mean, and not having to go through a relationship to find, your
to complete
self-love and things of that sort. You know what I mean? Because then maybe if you had already had that, the relationship could have played out and went a different direction. You never know. 1,000 ways, 1,000 options. But
Jasmine says, do some soul searching and heal. Take some time for yourself. A lot of broken people look for others to make them whole. And look at Jasmine. Look like she checked out that 101 episode as well, because obviously she knows what she's talking about. What's up, Greg? What you got for us?
Honestly, one of the things that helped me bounce back from, relationship stuff like that is good music, man. Honestly. Nothing wrong with listening to Zero, I Hate You, bitch. Repeat. Nothing wrong with listening to that song at all. I'm just saying, that's a real shit. Listen to that song. For all my people that haven't heard it, go check it out. Hey man, I hate you, bitch. Too many years I done paid the price.
Hey, Zero was singing before Drake was on
Day
these
after
rap
day,
records. So,
X, nigga. X.
Living lavish, strap you in carrots, what I'm trying to do.
But
love it. That's what I can. Act like it ain't enough. Obviously, we know the song because we listened to it maybe once or twice in our lifetime.
got my niggas for real. Nigga.
Oh Lord! And Jasmine shaking her head and laughing at the same time. We appreciate everybody for checking out this episode.
But I agree with my man Greg. I agree.
What's up?
I agree with the music thing. Like it's cool to just sit chill. But I think that's part of like you doing your own reflection. You kind of just hanging out on your own, doing your own thing, and figuring out for yourself what you need to do to be. I'm gonna be cliche here, but be the best you, right? So like, I think like for me, I know in the past. And not everybody's religious or whatnot, but for me, it was me finding my connection and really working on my relationship with God and just trying to focus on that and trying to focus on like how am I living my life, how am I getting better each and every day. That kind of got me through what I need to do. Also, keep yourself occupied, man. Like be around people, do some stuff, stay busy. Because I think when an idle mind is dangerous, bro. Like you're sitting there, you ain't got nothing to do. You just,
sitting around thinking.
That's when you start robbing niggas, hitting licks and stuff, Grand Theft Auto, selling drugs and shit. That's when all those.
What the hell?
Oh, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I see. You play too many video games.
Hey,
What the hell you doing?
I'm just saying.
You've been in Philadelphia a little too long, so we need to bring you back to Houston.
And when the youth don't have nothing to do, what do? Dumb shit.
First of all, you are 28 years old, sir. You are 28 years old.
29.
29, they don't matter. You too old. You're too old not to be out here doing silly things. Anyways, Bree says, I'm glad y'all never went into music.
Hey, come on now.
Watch
our own temptation.
Yes, sir.
I'm David.
I'm not sure that.
No, you're not.
No,
No, you're not. You can't even grow. You can't even grow more than 2 chin hairs. So no, you're not. Not at all. Get your ass back in the back.
That is true. You can't run away from
these are the temptations.
And Jasmine also says, but don't get too busy. That will never deal with the hurt.
I think that's what I was gonna say. So you don't want to, be too occupied to where you can't self-reflect. Yeah. And the most important thing you can do is self-reflect. So, actually, like Ishmael said, like knowing yourself. Me also being a religious guy, just getting back into my personal relationship and going from there. But like, if you never deal with yourself, then you can't be right for the next person. And for me, I met my wife when I got right with myself. And I think I was ready to meet my wife when I was ready there.
Because it was that time.
Because it was that time.
It was that time.
You know what? Let's bounce back because y'all trying to play me. Yes, I was talking about youth, but it still stands because let's be real. You get out of a shitty relationship as an adult, a lot of people are going to do what? They might not sell drugs, but they might turn to drugs, alcohol, things of that sort. People start going down.
That's right. You're right.
Make it for yourself. Make it for yourself.
Yeah, you can spiral real quick. You're right. You can spiral real quick.
Make up for yourself.
Not even adults though.
Like, especially that's what I'm saying. Like that's what I'm saying. It's like age wise,
it don't matter.
Wise, it doesn't matter. Like this is matters of the heart. Everybody goes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we've all been through breakups, and you know what I'm saying. We've all bounced back. You know what I'm saying.
Already,
you gotta bounce somewhere. Shit.
Already. Mm-hmm. All right, let's go ahead and get into this NFL Week 6 recap. Ooh, my bad.
That was unnecessary, Napoleon, for real.
NFL Week 7 recap,
Oh.
actually.
Week
Had to
7.
change
Go
up for a
ahead.
second. Yep, had to change up on you right quick. Yep. So
We already saw
we'll talk. Of course, we'll talk about OBJ's injury. Will the Jets win a game this season? And
Nope.
also, are the Cowboys already
Done?
turning the season in and calling it a wrap? So let's go ahead and get started with the Browns with OBJ. Ish and I talked about this yesterday on the Sports Plug. Yesterday on our show. How do you guys feel about the direction that the Browns are going to go without OBJ? And will OBJ be a member of the Browns in 2021?
I believe. I honestly. Oh, my fault, bro. Where you going?
No, you get. I'll go on after you.
Okay, cool. I actually agree with what X said. He said it in the chat. I'm pretty sure he said it on the Sports Plug episode as well. That is the last time we're going to see OBJ in a Browns uniform. That's probably the last time we'll see OBJ like actually being considered the number one receiver on a team as well. Because if you think about it, it's going to take a year for him to get over that injury. So that's going into the 2021 season when he really, really gets back into being like OBJ of trying to be the OBJ of that's going to be 2022 season, which pretty much he's going to be 30 at that point. Not saying that being 30 is a bad thing, but 30-year-old wide receiver with multiple injuries in your career, I don't know how he's going to bounce back from that. Now, going into the Brown situation, I'm a Baker Mayfield fan. Probably ridiculous to say that.
Yep, let's mute him now.
Say that.
Mute him now.
Yep, we stopped you because you're a Baker Mayfield fan. I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you, Greg. I'm messing with you, Greg. I'm messing with you. Go ahead.
Let me finish. Anyways, so since OBJ is out, the main problem Baker Mayfield was having was trying to get OBJ involved, which is not a bad problem to have because he's the best person on the offense. Period. It's not even debatable. So
that's debatable.
That's debatable.
No, it's
That's
not.
debatable. Yes, it's debatable. We're about to debate that right now. Let's go on.
Well, because if you said best offensive player, I mean that could either go maybe to Jarvis or, of course, maybe the named person, which is Nick Chubb. Yes, I'm about to get to that. But again, like I said, two different positions. So, but if we're talking about production and actually more valuable to that offense, it is Nick Chubb, not OBJ.
I'm saying overall talent, OBJ is the best offensive player on the Browns, in my opinion. Let me put that out there so y'all niggas are ready to debate. In my opinion, OBJ.
Lead with that next time. Lead with that next time.
Your faulty opinion.
I'm not. Anyways, OBJ, in my opinion, is the best offensive player on the team. That's why he was trying to get him the ball so goddamn much because they know what he can do once he has the ball.
Can I say something to that?
I agree.
Can I say something to that? Now, can we also fault the coaches as well when it comes to not mixing up play calling to get OBJ the ball in different ways instead of just getting him the ball on post routes, go routes, slant routes, maybe a reverse, maybe quick screen, different ways to get Odell involved because he is an athlete. So if certain things, the ball being forced to OBJ like it probably, has been with the Browns in recent weeks, isn't it on the offensive coordinators, isn't it his job to be able to set this offense up for success and to get OBJ, put him in successful positions to be able to succeed and not just on Baker himself?
Partially, but not necessarily.
I was shaking my head at first, but when you started explaining it and I really thought about it, the coaches definitely are part of the reason of the blame for that. Yeah.
Only part, though. To me, if OBJ is the receiver that everybody tries to make him out to be, he should be making plays regardless.
You're right. I agree to that too. I mean, because let's be real, and I had a conversation with Adrian Lunsford about this when it comes to when we talk about the top 3 or top 5 receivers in NFL, we don't even mention OBJ anymore. It used to be. Remember, just 3 years ago, it used to be.
Ever there?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Seriously. Just 3 years ago, they were saying that he was with AB and Julio. There were people saying that he was up there with AB and Julio, And then also with Hopkins, those are the three guys. But a lot of people want to put him in there in that mix. And ever since Michael
right.
Thomas, I know I'm right. I know I'm right because
Yeah,
that's how it
Ishmael,
was.
stop it. Ishmael,
So
stop it.
so now that OBJ, of course, now these past couple years with the injuries, and then of course AB has also done the things that he's done. Those guys have dropped out of the mix, and we'll talk about AB in a second. Michael Thomas has filled that void. AJ Brown, if he keeps on playing the way that he's playing, he can come ahead and make some noise as well. But there's other receivers out here in the NFL that are making noise, and OBJ is making more headlines off the field than he is on the field. Remember, just a week ago, he's suspended at LSU for 2 years, and LSU lost 8 scholarships due to the situation that happened at LSU after they won the championship.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just with OBJ. I have no problems with OBJ. I think he's a great talent, but it seems like a lot of his stuff off the field is getting in the way of his talent on the field. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens when he comes back fully healthy, because the team that takes a chance on him, like the 49ers, the Patriots, the Saints, somebody that's going to, the Cowboys, maybe somebody that might, we have to wait and see who wants to give him a $4 or $5 million deal instead of the $18 million deal that he wants. So when he is 30 years old, fully healthy again, he might maybe have 4 or 5 maybe prime years left. And again, maybe. But we see Larry Fitzgerald playing until his late 30s. He's a different animal. That's a different animal, different beast. But we see these guys playing a little bit longer. Who knows? With the modern medicine we have, maybe OBJ is able to play a little bit longer. We have to wait and see.
I don't think it will happen, but that's just me though.
I got you. Bree Reese says, "Go Steelers, 6-0." Yes, they are. She also says, "What do y'all think about AB coming back?"
I like it. I think the Cardinals originally, not Cardinals, sorry, the Buccaneers were throwing smoke screen at the beginning. I think that Tom Brady wanted AB at the very beginning, but they had to say no just to fit the narrative, I think. But I mean, of all teams, the Buccaneers are stacked, man. Like they offensively they have a squad, and I mean, defensively as well. They're not scrubs on defense, and so every year that Tom Brady's had a good defense, they've done well. So. I mean, obviously even when they haven't had a true defense, he's still done well. But like overall, when he's had a better defense, they've won championships. And so, I'm not saying my pick was not the Buccaneers to go to the Super Bowl, right? I had the Seahawks, but the Buccaneers are really dangerous.
No, I definitely agree. My bad, Greg. I just want to piggyback on what Brett was talking about with the smoke screen. I 100% agree. I remember when that happened, and Bruce Arians was just like, "No, we're not even interested in him." Right?
Not interested.
And I just think that's how Bruce Arians operates. He does things like that through the media because he knows how to conduct what goes on inside, and he controls the media narrative through himself. You feel me? So I think that's what happened since day one. I'm pretty sure him and Tom Brady had a conversation behind closed doors, and Tom Brady said, "I need this guy." And I'm pretty sure Bruce Arians said, "We're going to do anything we possibly can to make sure we get the weapons that you need to all of us ride to the Super Bowl." I mean, that's the main goal. And we've seen that in all the sports from, and I don't want to bring up old memories, but from Astros to Yankees to basketball to football, no matter the Patriots and Spygate, no matter who it is, people are going to find ways to win by all costs, right? So that even means bringing in a troubled wide receiver with a pass that also, when he comes back, is supposed to be going to court, I think, a couple weeks after he comes back for another domestic violence case. So we have to wait and see how long AB is actually even going to be on the field. That's the real thing, because when he came back for the Patriots, it was so short-lived. We forgot he was even wearing a Patriots jersey. Greg?
I'm actually pretty, I wouldn't say pretty happy, but I'm okay with him coming back to the NFL. You brought up a great point. We don't know how long he'll be playing, but for the simple fact that somebody was able to give him an opportunity just shows how talented he really is. Talent overshadows bullshit every single time, especially in the NFL. Countless stories of people doing ridiculous shit on and off the field and still getting opportunities elsewhere. So this is just another situation of that. I hope he stays. I hope everything works out in his favor because the dude is a Hall of Fame caliber receiver, especially with the numbers he had before he started with the bullshit with the Steelers. I mean, dude was putting up Hall of Fame numbers. So I don't know where he's going to be as far as once you get on the field. But even when he did play for the Patriots that one game, he played pretty decent, considering the fact that he had much playing. I mean, not playing time, practice time. Sorry. So we'll see what happens. But I'm glad he's back. Everybody deserves an opportunity. You'll get an opportunity as long as you know that talent overshadows bullshit in the NFL. So.
Do you think
Yes, sir. I
that?
definitely agree.
Do you think that initially, because when all the reports came out initially, you automatically knew he was going to Tampa Bay, right? That was it's just a narrative that just fit. When AB originally started coming back, do you think that Bruce Arians said that initially to lower the contract they had to give him?
Not necessarily, because Seattle wanted him too. Russell Wilson is really good friends with him. They worked out together. Seattle, it was widely reported that Seattle wanted to bring him in. So
But my
I
my
don't
thought
think the
process by
contract was.
saying that, my thought process by saying that was like when it was initially reported that he was coming back, like everybody just assumed and knew that he was going to Tampa Bay. Like that was kind of, I think the storyline was for him to go to Tampa Bay. Is what I'm trying to say. That's why I was asking that.
I mean, I understand where you're coming from, Brett, but like Ish said, and I just have to agree with Ish. I mean, and it's been like that since day one. Before he even mentioned Tom Brady and Tampa, it was they've always said it was multiple teams always interested in AB. So you don't do things like that to drive down the cost. I understand where you're coming from, but um, this contract is $1 million base with incentives. I'm pretty sure he was probably going to get the same thing, maybe a little bit more or less. Again, I don't really know the numbers like that, so I can't sit here and say contracts for different teams how they were based for AB. But what at the most for the most part, he chose a destination that is going to help him win the Super Bowl. So the NFC has just become even harder to go through this gauntlet. Not just on the NFC West. The NFC West in a division by himself, so they got to have to go through their own gauntlet. And then, of course, the NFC as a whole is going to be crazy. Let's get back to the comments right quick. Christine says, people do crazy things and get another chance, except Cap. Jasmine also says, exactly, Christine. And Bree says, exactly. Now, we all play football. Do anybody want to touch on that topic right quick and let the people know why Kaepernick has not been able to get another opportunity compared to people that have killed people or domestic violence or pissing hot, just certain things. Ish, you wanna start it off?
I mean, he's bad for business.
Yeah,
I
he's
mean,
messing with their money.
just to be blunt about it, he's bad for business. The NFL, they're all about money. They're all about their business. They're all about their perception to the fans or whatever when it comes to certain things. And he's bad for business. Not to mention, it's not like he was lighting it up when he was leaving, right? So like that last season with the 49ers, it wasn't like he was lighting it up on the field. So I know that we would all say that he's better than most of the backups in this league. He's probably better than some of the starting quarterbacks in this league. However, I don't think that he did well enough in his final season to really make people say like, oh, without a shadow of a doubt, he's got to come in and start for my team. Now, if it were a situation just like Greg was saying, the talent thing in the NFL, like it don't matter what you do, if your talent is the next level, then somebody gonna bring you in and take a chance, right? But the combination of him being bad for business and him not lighting it up in his last season, and nobody is gonna bring him in. They don't have a reason to.
And I want to directly address what Christine said. People do crazy things and get another chance, except Cap. Kaepernick didn't do anything crazy, in my opinion. He just did
Not at all.
he just did something that was out of the ordinary. And when you do shit that's out of the ordinary, you're going to not get another opportunity. That's just what it is.
Challenging the status quo.
Exactly. Out of the ordinary, what I was pretty much saying, but that's a better way of saying it, Ish. But yeah, something out of the ordinary, your ass ain't coming back.
Bree says standing up for civil rights is bad for business, but murder, animal cruelty, and domestic violence isn't.
Pretty much. Because those things don't hurt. Yeah, I mean, because those things don't hurt the NFL's bottom line. Yeah.
Well, and that's what we all have to remember. Again, we are all five of us have played sports from high school to college. We are speaking from a point of view of actually going through, these things personally, and unfortunately, when you don't own anything, us as black people or us as individuals, we don't own the NFL. That's their own business. So if you go work at Walmart, you have to wear the Walmart uniform, abide by the Walmart rules, and do the things the Walmart way. That is the same way with the NFL, the NBA, and the MLB. These are not amateur sports. These are professional sports. The actual sport comes last. What comes first is the bottom dollar. There are teams out here in all three sports that can have a crappy season and not win, and can maybe win 3 or 4 games, right? But if you look at the bottom dollar of how much money they made, if you profit $500 million in a year, are you really losing? Just think about that. You can be the New York Knicks. Think about the New York Knicks. They haven't done anything since the 90s, yet they are the most valuable franchise in the NBA. Not the Lakers, not the Celtics, but the New York Knicks. So, just think about that when it comes to where your dollar goes. And just like Bree says, yes, exactly, just like the Cowboys. The Cowboys do have 5 Super Bowls, though. The Cowboys do have 5 Super Bowls, so we're not going to just trash the Cowboys. But when it comes to what Jerry Jones did in the 90s compared to what he's doing now, he is looked at as, quote-unquote, a laughing stock. But when Jerry Jones first entered the league in the NFL in the beginning, he brought so much money to the NFL, they can't get Jerry Jones out of the NFL. He brings too much money to them. What's up, Greg?
Yep. And also, I want to address what Bree said, too. One of the things she talked about domestic violence. I just want to go on record and say, all the women that watch the NFL, I don't know why you're still watching it. These owners, these executives have countlessly showed you they don't give a shit about women, period.
Let's be real, Greg. We could say that about black people, too. If you wanted to go that far, they could turn that on us. They could turn that on us and say, why do black men still watch it if they know they treat you this way? Did that and the third. But it's one of those things where we are trapped in a society that has been built so long ago that we are kind of in this perplexed, unfortunate mix that you have to get what you have to get in the game and get out. I'm not saying it's the drug game, but I'm just saying sometimes you have to get in to get what you need to get out to do what you want to do, right? So some people go to the league to get their money and get out. And they don't want no parts of the league anymore, right? And they go do great things outside of the league. And there's some people that love the league, that want every part of the limelight, the glory, the money, all that stuff, and don't care about everything else that's going on around them, from civil rights to animal rights to women's rights, all these things like that. So, it's just one of those things where it's unfortunate, but that's the world we live in, right? Jasmine says, truest shit Greg has ever said. And Christine says, and you could say as men, why do you still watch it if they don't care about women too?
That's a fair point.
That's a good question to ask. I ain't gonna hold you.
Fair point.
Good question.
Because we've been brainwashed, man.
That brainwash.
Low key.
Hey. I'm still gonna watch it though. I ain't gonna hold you. Sorry, Christine. Logical question, but I'm still gonna watch it.
Very logical.
Everything ASAP. Let's go.
Hey, very logical. When you're a Cowboys fan, it's very easy to go ahead and give up. I'm just saying. And speaking of Cowboys, so we'll go ahead and wrap up this topic. Yes, the Cowboys lost again to the Washington football team, and after that loss, it seems like you guys have went ahead and shipped off Everson Griffin to the Seahawks, and it seems like the Cowboys not just got rid of him, but they also are trying to might get rid of Poe, and I forgot the other defensive lineman. But it seems like you guys are cleaning house and might be starting over already, even though the season hasn't ended yet. Now, I'm on record stating that I think Mike McCartney will be gone this year. If they keep on losing, they go 3-13, 4-12, whatever, he's out first year, just like that. But because right now it looks like he's lost the locker room, so we have to wait and see how that goes. Greg, you got anything to say about the Texans?
We're garbage. I didn't even watch the game. I watched the Titans and Steelers game, to be quite honest with you. So that shows how much I care about the season. I don't give a shit about the season. We're ass. And that's pretty much all I got for you, to be honest with you.
All right.
No, but the Cowboys released Poe.
See, we don't even got to go back to the Cowboys. I don't even know why we went back.
And of course, a go pack go from Jasmine. Good old cop out Jazz. And to finish up tonight, we'll talk about the 2020 World Series. Of course, finally just wrapped up with the Dodgers beating the Rays 4-2. The Dodgers finally capturing another championship since 1988. This is actually the second time the same city has won the championship in basketball and baseball in the same year. The last city to do that was LA in 1988 when the Lakers and the Dodgers won as well. So, be honest, did anybody actually watch the World Series?
Nope.
I heard it in the background a little bit. I didn't watch it.
Yeah, I had it on at one point, but I wasn't actually watching it. You know what I'm saying? It was on, and I just
Either team.
messed up, and you know.
I've seen a couple of parts Christine had it on, so let me check this out real quick.
All right, just to give everybody a heads up, we got a couple of salty Astros, or one salty Astros fan, Greg. He might not be too happy.
I don't watch baseball. That's why I put the flick up.
You be wearing Astros gear, so you an Astros fan.
I don't have Astros gear, you asshole.
Whatever. The point is, you an Astros fan by association, so that's just how it goes. So, anyways, I watched a little bit of the World Series. It was, to be completely honest, yes, and we know that's what Greg does. The World Series was a little boring this year, but I will say this for the Dodgers and for the Dodger fans. Honestly, congratulations, and about time they finally won one because they've been to the damn World Series. Been to the World Series 4 out of the last 5 years and still can't freaking win one. I thought they were going to be the Bills of our generation when it comes to baseball. So about time, like I said, congratulations to them. But the big news and the big story that happened after the actual World Series Game 6, or should I say, I apologize, during Game 6, was Justin Turner was pulled out of the 8th inning due to a positive COVID test. Now, the results came in during the game. That's honestly, it's fascinating. I didn't know they were even going to do that when it comes to the tests being done during the game and then somebody telling that individual that they have to come off the field. That was kind of bizarre because he was already out there for the 8 innings prior. So you pull him out for an inning. You tell him he has to leave. He can't be around anybody for 14 days, whatever, The game is over with, and all of a sudden, here comes Justin Turner back onto the field to take pictures, congratulate everybody for winning, this, that, and the third. Reports came out saying that nobody stopped him. Even the Dodgers organization said that they had no problems with what Justin did because this was a once-in-a-lifetime thing. They want to do it as a team. You never know when you're going to get back here again. I understand all of that. I respect all of that. We play sports. We all understand all of that. But it's just very head scratching when there are certain protocols in place. You come up with a positive test. They tell you to leave, and you pretty much say, F the protocol. I'm going to run back onto the field and he said he was safe, but he was right next to his manager, Dave Roberts, who is a 76-year-old man. And what happens if he comes up positive in the next day or two? You know, it's just one of those things where it is honestly mind blowing, because this is honestly just a capsule of what we've seen this whole year with COVID. When it comes to, you tell certain people, hey, these are how the rules are supposed to be. You need to wear a mask. You need to be 6 feet. You need to do this, that, and the third. But when it's somebody like us doing it, it's a problem. But when it's somebody like Justin Turner, all of a sudden we just pass by, and then we don't have to have no problems with, because it's his choice. He's an American. He's this, that, and the third. We see that a lot. It's just one of those things where it's just kind of ass backwards to me. You know, I'm just saying, because if this was Ray John Rondo with the Lakers, he got taken out and he came back into the championship picture, do you think social media would be killing him right now? I'm asking y'all.
No.
Okay.
No, I don't think sports people really care about this stuff. I think the fact that we have games going on, the fact that we have teams traveling and stuff like that, I don't think people in the sports world. I mean, not all people in the sports world, but I'm talking about like these leagues and organizations. They don't really care like that. They're just doing what they do.
I got you. Christine says, they said MLB security asked him to leave multiple times and he refused. How true is that? I don't know. That's the same reporting that I don't believe that. That's the same reporting that I heard. Again, we don't know. We have to wait a couple more days for more things to come out. Bree says he shouldn't have played while waiting for the results. I understand that, but let's be real. No. Let's be real. I was gonna say, let's be real, everybody. Y'all really think they're gonna hold people, key players, until their results come back? No, they're not going to do that. I understand where you're coming from. It's about this. We got to remember, guys, it's about this at the end of the day.
They did with COVID-19 and Ebola.
Hey,
like Christine says, she also says next to Dave Roberts without a mask on at that. Jasmine also says, why stop him from celebrating if they already let him play? They've been exposed and they know it. The test results should have been back before the game began. Now, I agree on that part wholeheartedly. Why were the results not in prior to playing the game in the first place? That's the real head scratcher, because if they've been doing this for the last 3 months of this season, shouldn't they have already had these protocols already in place and timed in a certain way to where it makes sure that all the results came in before the game is played? You would think that, right?
Sounds good on paper, yes. That sounds
logically speaking, Bray is not wrong though. Why did he play if the results weren't bad?
Well, yeah, that's the question being asked. It doesn't make any sense. You're not playing unless we know if you're positive or negative with COVID. It's simple as that.
It depends on their testing protocols, though.
That's what it's about. It's not about us. It's not about how we feel. It's about the business and what they put in place when it comes to their protocols on how they run things. Then let me explain. The MLB is doing things differently compared to the Big Ten. The Big Ten is about to might shut down quicker than they think, because they're about to play 8 games, no bye weeks, and Wisconsin is about their season might be over before it started, because they've had a spread of COVID and their days of sitting out is 21 days to sit out. And they're down to their 4th quarterback that actually has COVID now. So they had to cancel their game this Saturday against Penn State. So this whole situation is crazy. Let me get back to the comments right quick. Bree says, they rescheduled the Steelers and Titans game due to positive results. Why not this game? The reason why is because that's a regular season football game compared to the World Series. This two completely different things. You cannot reschedule the World Series like that unless there was an outbreak. And what they said, I heard earlier today on Get Up, they did say if there was an outbreak or Justin Turner did, he did, of course, come up positive. But if they did play a 7th game the next day, they might have pushed the game back until he popped negative, and then they were going to play the game, after they came up negative. So
for one person?
Hey, that's what they were saying. So again, all I know is MLB should be thanking their lucky stars that they were able to get through this season without as many COVID cases like the NFL is going through right now. And Christine also says the MLB just made themselves look even worse compared to the NBA and NHL and how they handle their situation. I completely agree. The NBA had zero COVID tests. NHL, zero. MLB was on that pace until just right now. I'm sorry, I apologize. They actually had one in the beginning of the season, and they had one until the end of the season. So it's just one of those things where MLB they'll look back on this and they'll say, it's our fault, but at the end of the day, they don't care. They're happy that they got the World Series played. They're going to look forward. They're moving on to next year, and they don't care. It's on to next year, on to Cincinnati, as Bill Belichick will say. Where they don't. This season is over with. Jasmine also says, but by Game 6, how do you not know how far in advance you need to test to get your results before the game?
Read that last comment.
Bree says COVID is COVID, and also you're making excuses for a poor judgment call. Hey, I'm not making excuses. I'm just letting you know how business is ran. It's not my business. So, hey, it's not my business. That's not how I run things. So if it was my business,
business over health here, and then we have to start thinking about what actually matters in regard to human beings.
Business
Construct of
if he's your teammate. If he's your teammate, are you celebrating with him after testing positive?
They were.
I'm asking. No, I'm asking you.
I mean, if you already played with him, so on that aspect, that shit, like you might as well.
Yeah, you already exposed.
Yeah, already exposed.
Okay. What about let's piggyback that question. Somebody like you, Ish, you playing on a football team. You have a young daughter. You just said you don't really want to go out right now because you have a young son and daughter. If you're out playing right now and y'all won the Super Bowl, would you go out and popping bottles with your boys?
No.
No.
Okay.
No.
No,
Yeah,
I'm not gonna go out.
A little bit different. I think it's a little bit different. But what I'm saying is like.
But again, I think we're speaking. Let's be real. We're speaking about this in a non-emotional way. We weren't. Justin Turner was at the highest part of the pinnacle of his baseball career to where his emotions took over of his mental state, right? I mean, let's be real. That's the only reason why some people are giving him. Let me explain. That's the reason why people are giving him an excuse of what he did because he was so emotional and happy. Hey, I'm just letting you know what I'm just letting you know. I'm letting you know what I was told. Okay. I'm letting you know what I was told.
There's no excuse, man.
You can't make excuses for people's emotions.
X. If he's your teammate and you see him out there after being, because I'm sure they knew what happened when he got pulled from the game, right? It's not just like he got pulled, from the game and everybody was like, "Oh, I wonder where he's going." Like they had to have known. You see him out there post game with you. Are you okay with that?
No, I'm hella mad.
No.
X,
I'm asking X. I'm asking Xavier.
I mean, I don't know why you just asked me, but I mean, it's not
because they've already said their answer.
I mean, I don't really understand how me being mad changes him being out. I could be mad all I want to, but he's still out there and taking a picture with us and doing whatever. I mean, I'm not really mad. I mean, it is what it is. I'm not. If he wants to come out, he can come out. And let's all remember too, being outside is a lot better than being inside in a cooped up room. So, I understand. You're not supposed to be out in the first place. But again, you're asking me this question. I'm giving you my answer. I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't have a problem because
X watch Fox News. I confirmed it, man. I confirmed it. He done did word for word what they be saying on Fox News. That man
never watched it. Never watched it.
Yes, you out here really
never watched it.
Sending a message out.
All right. No, like I said. What you saying that, Brett?
Was the roof open?
No, it was closed.
Then aren't they inside?
No, they outside.
Still outside. I mean, you're still outside.
Yes, sir. Okay.
I mean, not if it's in a building with a roof. It's not. I'm just saying.
I mean, I really don't know what's so funny. I mean, you're still outside.
I know it was funny. I'm just not gonna hold you.
I mean, it's not really that funny. So
I don't give a damn. This nigga X is an asshole. I want to hold that nigga.
that's fine.
No, those are. I was genuinely asking because I know they can.
Nah, you had some.
I didn't know.
Question,
I did
All
not.
righty then, y'all done for the night.
Let me just say, Brett, this has been a rare episode for you because you actually participated.
Yeah.
And instead of participating with a
And
good
falling
heart
asleep.
and a good spirit, you were over here just throwing shade the entire episode.
This nigga gonna ask, was the roof closed?
I didn't know. I didn't watch it. I didn't watch the
You
World
a lie.
Series. I didn't know.
He gonna laugh afterwards. You a hoe,
I
bro.
just said I didn't watch it.
That's
I
you,
was
you
going
hoed
off
me
of-
earlier too. You've been hoeing this entire episode.
I was
Exactly.
going-
See? That's what I'm
I was
saying.
going-
The whole
I was
episode.
going. No, listen. I was going based on his answer because I didn't watch it. He's the only one that watched the World Series, so that's what I was genuinely asking. Because he said they were outside, so I was wondering, okay, is the roof closed? He said yes. So I was like, is that not still inside? So based on his point, he said, well, they were outside, and so that was me genuinely asking because I did not know. But for me personally, I will answer for me. If I know that he gets pulled for testing positive, like yes, I understand, you're at the top, but like for me, I'm saying, yo, like we got at least got separated for a little bit because like I'm going home to my family.
Does it make a
and
difference if they're inside or outside?
Yeah, was the roof closed?
I mean, does it make a difference for you, Brett, if you are inside or outside?
no, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Oh my god, Brett was actually funny this episode. I like this episode. This is funny.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
To me, no, it doesn't matter because it's outside.
Don't ever laugh like that, Greg. God.
Oh my god, bro. This nigga X, you can close it out, bro.
Yeah, X done. X done.
All right, we'll see y'all next week with like I said, our political recap of the 2020 election. Hopefully, you guys go out and vote and vote for whoever you want to vote for. We're not telling you to vote for anybody. You can vote for who you want to because you're an American and that's their right?
How you gonna switch it up now?
Yo, hey, make sure you're voting indoors, not outdoors.
Yep.
Yo, how you
All
gonna?
right.
How you gonna
All
switch it up now?
Make sure the
All
roof
right.
is closed.
You guys,
Oh,
no problem. You guys have a great rest of the night. See you guys next time on Kinfolk and Nem.